Hello, my name is Timmy Blungton, and I hope you're having a great day. And if you're not, I hope I can make it better by showing you how to build a medieval house like the one you see behind me. So, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you always want to lay out your foundation, how big you want your house to be. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to do 3 blocks of cobblestone, then an oak log going out 1 block as you see there. So the inside where the grass is, that's how big your house is going to be on the interior. Then go 4 blocks up with the logs, and then do a 3 block over the 2 logs, and then a stair under that 3 log across like that. Then do that on all sides, and you don't want your house to be just a plain box or rectangle. Now you're going to go out 1 block with the stair, inverted stair I mean, and then go 4 blocks up again. Then do the same thing as we did with the upside down staircases and the logs across. As you can see here, I made this little out jut area. I don't really know what you'd call it, but I didn't know how I wanted to do that, so I just left it blank. Then I made this floor that took way too long, and honestly, it's a really simple floor. It's a checkerboard pattern of stripped oak logs. So then just bring up the wall of cobblestone, and then on the second layer I want you to do the wall of cobblestone on the logs and not on the top of the cobblestone. This will give you a little more space on your second floor and give a little bit of depth. Then I just made another floor on the bottom like so. Then what I'm about to do is I'm doing the framework for the roof, and it's all about frame. You always want to do your frame first. So I'm doing a pattern where I go a stair, upside down stair, 1 block up, and then a stair, upside down stair, and so on and so forth. So just do that and then copy it over on the other side and do it on, start the stair on the corner block of the log. So 1 block up from the top of the log, and then just copy it over. Do a thing of slabs going across the top like that, and then you have your frame done for the roof like that. Then I wanted to do kind of this A-frame area for the front. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I think I figured it out and it looks good. So then I just copied that on the other side, as you can see me doing right now. I then went to work on this kind of side area. I didn't decide to do the 1 block up stair, upside down stair, because that would have just been way too tall. So I just did a plain row of stairs, doing an outline with stone brick, and then going back on the inside with spruce stairs. And I would recommend on the side you do a upside down staircase to make it look a little more nicer. So now I'm filling in the A-frame area, as you could call it, I guess, and I'm doing this weird pattern, but keep in mind we're going to put a roof over this, so that's really the pattern you're going to want to do. I then started on doing the actual roof part. Now, because I did an outline with a stone brick and spruce wood, they complement each other, but at the same time they clash. So it gives that little bit of depth when in reality you have no depth. And I didn't put a third story, but there's plenty of space inside the roof to do a third story. So then I just copied that on the other side, and boom, I'm done with the roof. Now what I wanted to do was, this looked a little plain on this side, so I decided to make kind of a loft-ish type thing, just a simple A-frame to break up the complete, I don't know what you'd call it, but it looked like it needed something. And if you do 3 grass blocks and then do spruce trapdoors, it looks very nice like a flower pot. And that's something that you can do just to break up the side of your house if you'd like to. Then I went to work on doing a chimney because it didn't look even. It needed something on the other side to also break it up. So I started with stone brick, but I thought that the stone brick, I already had plenty of that, so I just went with regular brick. And I went back with regular brick and wanted to break it up a little because regular brick does not look good by itself. So I made a little campfire on the inside to give it the effect. I broke it up with some granite and polished granite. And a little tip, I did staircases on the top kind of to get it like it all comes together at the top. Here I wanted to put in another block of brick, so I went with nether brick, but I decided it looked fine on its own. So here I wanted kind of a side barn type thing, somewhere where this person would keep their hay. So I ended up just going out 3 blocks, putting a bunch of hay, making it look nice and everything, and then I started on the roof. Now, I initially started with doing the same thing I did on the other part, but I then decided that it would look better if I just did a slab staircase, a slab roof, like you see me doing there. I then wanted to make a place where this person would get all the hay, so I really just spammed no, fences wherever I wanted to farm. And if you're gonna make something like this, I would not recommend you really put into effort like how the fence goes, because you can see like that's a fence, but if you want it to kind of give like that worn down countryside farming type feel, don't really connect any of them. I mean, you can connect some of them, but not all of them. And I put in some water sources and basically just planted a bunch of seeds, and I'll go back and bone meal all of that. And pretty soon, yeah, there you go. As you can see, I'm bone mealing it, and we're about to run into a block, aren't we? Yes, we are. So, yeah, just making this wheat field a little more like a wheat field. I then went back and touched it up a little to make it look a little nicer. I then bone milled this side part, took out all the flowers, and took out some of the grass, because you need to have a little bit of grass, but not too much grass. I then added some torches, I added a kind of a lantern to the front part, and on this side, it didn't look even. So I decided to make kind of a blacksmith house type thing, and boy, oh boy, did this give me a lot of trouble. I did not know what I wanted to do with this. So for pillars, I started with acacia logs, which have a nice stone pillar texture. And in the 1.16 Nether update, we'll have, I think, polished basalt, and that'll give us a nice stone pillar. Now, as you can see, I'm using a staircase with polished andesite and stone brick, and I didn't really like this, so I went back and just used stone brick, and I did a staircase in the middle of the stone brick, and I went back, and in the middle of those staircases, I put a slab so you have a little bit of a viewing window. Now for the interior, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I started out with a counter, and I changed up the floor with cobblestone, and I mixed in a little bit of andesite to give a little bit of texture. I went back to texture the stone brick, and I added some mossy stone brick and cracked stone brick. So then I went back on the interior, added an anvil because I feel like that's something a blacksmith would have. I added some blast furnaces and a little smoke capture type thing. I don't know really what you'd call it, but now I wanted to add in some lava because I feel like that's also something a blacksmith would have, but you all see how that went, so I ended up just adding water. Now for the roof. The roof gave me just as much trouble as the actual building did. So I originally started with dark prismarine, but I thought that clashed too much with the stone brick. So then I decided to try red nether brick, but I thought that also popped too much and contrasted with the stone brick. So I went back and decided to do regular nether brick. And I learned a valuable lesson. If it's a build this small, do not try and do an outline, because if it's too small, then the outline isn't going to look good. And I don't know why, but I get some kind of Japanese feel with this little building. I think it's because of those staircases at the top. And a little tip to give your A-frames a little more detail, do a staircase at the top to give it, I don't know what you'd really call it, but to do the top of the chimney, I did a cobblestone wall and then a cobblestone slab on top of it, kind of like a smoke vent, if you will. So then I wanted to finish this off, and it looked a little, I don't know what you'd say, but it looked a little barren on this side. So I decided to add in some spruce trees, except I built them. So as you can see, I started with terracotta to give it a little more green feel on the inside. But I eventually went back and did not like that, so I just did spruce leaves and I detailed it with some birch. And then, as you can see, I did the same thing on this side, and if you have just two trees that you make, don't make them both even, and don't make them the same. So that's why I said to put in some birch leaves to give it a little more detail and a little more contrast. So as you can see, I added in some grass, and I recommend you don't do any too high grass on just a regular grass area. I would say do it on the side of a house or whatnot. So then I wanted a little bit of a koi pond, so I replaced all that dirt with coarse dirt so it won't become grass again. I also added in some other dirt blocks that kind of look like mud under the water, so strips, spruce, and podzol. And I made a little bit of deck with the spruce trapdoors, put a little sugarcane and a bamboo, some lily pads on that side, and now the bamboo. And pro tip, put string on top of the bamboo and sugarcane if you don't want it to grow anymore. I then added in some fish. Now this area right here looked kind of empty, so I added in some grass, but it was way too flat, so I decided, well, Minecraft terrain isn't that flat. So then I added in this kind of up part here, and if your terrain is that flat, then I suggest you build kind of a hill or something. So then I put some grass back there, and basically I was done with the build. So I'll give you one more pan over of what this looks like.
Just say goodbye.
So that's going to be the end of this video. So if you liked it, leave a like. If you really liked it, subscribe. That's all for now. See you in the next one. Go follow me on Instagram. Link in the description.